Welcome, dear listener. Tonight we are going to take a very gentle journey back in time to a world long ago, to the towns of the Middle Ages. Imagine yourself walking along narrow cobbled streets, the morning mist soft against your skin, and the faint murmur of townspeople starting their day. You might hear the clatter of wooden carts along stone, the soft braying of a donkey, or the distant ring of a blacksmith's hammer. All around you, life hums quietly. Tonight, we are here to explore a particular curiosity of those times: why medieval towns smelled so bad. This is not a story meant to shock you, but rather to gently invite you to imagine life in a very different era. To understand the smells is to understand daily life, the rhythms, the routines, and the way people experience the world. Let us take a slow, calm walk together and explore the sights, the sounds, and yes, the sense of medieval life as they were experienced by the people who lived long ago. As we wander, remember that there is no hurry here. Let each image, each sound, and each imagined scent settle gently into your mind. Let curiosity mingle with calmness and allow yourself to drift slowly into this world of history, full of life activity, and all the ordinary human experiences that made these towns so vivid, and yes, sometimes so pungent. Now imagine approaching the gates of a medieval town. The walls rise high and strong, built carefully from stone, meant to protect the people inside. As you walk closer, you see the towers and parapets stretching toward the sky. A guard nods to you from the gatehouse, his presence a quiet reminder that life inside these walls is separated from the world outside. Stepping inside, the first thing you notice is not the grand buildings, though they are impressive, nor the town square or marketplace, though they are lively. No, the first thing you notice is the smell. It is thick, layered, and all around you. It is a smell we might find unpleasant today, but for people living there, it was simply ordinary. They moved through their streets with purpose, unbothered by it, accustomed to the combination of scents that we might struggle to imagine. The streets are narrow, cobbled unevenly, worn smooth by countless footsteps. Wooden carts bump along carrying vegetables, firewood, and goods for sale. Children run past, laughing softly, barefoot, playing simple games. Dogs trot alongside, sniffing curiously at anything that catches their attention. Goats, chickens, and pigs wander nearby, and the smells of the animals mix gently with the other scents that fill the air. Pause for a moment and breathe slowly. Imagine this scene fully. The walls rise around you. The sounds of daily life surround you, and the smells are thick but familiar. Here in this bustling little town, you can sense the rhythm of life, the energy, and the persistence of human routines. The streets are alive, and yet they carry an aroma that is unavoidable, a reminder of the constant presence of life itself. The smells are layered. Some are sweet, like the fresh bread baked in small ovens. Some are sharp, like the tang of fermented grains or fish from the market. Others are heavy, earthy, or pungent, reminders of the animals and the people sharing the streets. In this mixture, you can almost hear the stories of the townspeople: the baker tending his oven, the children chasing a goat down the lane, the merchants arranging their goods for the day. Each scent tells a story if you pause long enough to notice. As we linger in this first step of our journey, take a deep, calm breath and allow your mind to absorb the town as it truly was. Notice the subtle rhythm, the gentle clop of hooves on cobblestone, the soft rustle of clothing, the faint call of someone greeting a neighbor. All of these combine with the smells to create a living, breathing tapestry. And now, with your senses awake but relaxed, let us begin to explore more carefully the sources of these smells and the way people lived in this world so different from our own. One of the main reasons medieval towns smelled so bad was the very nature of human life itself. Homes were small, often no more than 1 or 2 rooms. Families lived, worked, ate, and slept in the same space. Imagine a house built of wood or stone with a single hearth in the center. Smoke rises gently from the fire, carrying the scent of cooking meat or bread, and mingles with all the other odors of everyday life. Toilets, as we know them today, were rare. Chamber pots were used inside the home, often kept under beds or in corners. Every morning, or sometimes several times a day, these pots would be emptied into the streets. People simply stepped around the waste or navigated carefully through it. Imagine walking slowly down such a street, stepping lightly to avoid the puddles and debris, and noticing how ordinary it was for the townspeople to live in this environment. Bathrooms as private spaces did not exist. Public latrines were uncommon, and when they existed, they were simple wooden or stone structures, sometimes shared by many people. The smell from these latrines mingled with the rest of the town, but people were accustomed to it. In a way, the town itself became part of the home. The streets carried not only waste but also stories, echoes of the daily routines of each household. And yet, life continued calmly. People bathed rarely, but they had ways to clean themselves with water, herbs, and perfumed cloth. The smells were strong, but so were the rhythms of daily life. You might hear a mother calling to her children, a blacksmith hammering gently on iron, or a dog barking in the distance. Life in these towns was messy, and yes, often smelly, but it was familiar and steady. Pause for a moment and imagine this ordinary life. Notice the smell, but let it be part of the calm rhythm of the town, part of the gentle immersion into history. Now let us consider the animals that shared these streets with humans. Goats, pigs, chickens, and sometimes even cows roamed freely through the lanes. Their hooves and paws trampled the cobbles, their droppings adding to the ongoing layer of scent that defined medieval life. Animals were essential for food, labor, and trade, but their presence contributed strongly to the odors of the town. Horses pulled carts of firewood, grain, and vegetables. Pigs wandered in search of scraps. Chickens pecked at crumbs left behind by market stalls. Imagine gently following a line of animals along a narrow lane, their movements adding a rhythm to the sounds and smells of the streets. You might notice the earthy scent of hay, mixed with the sharper smell of manure, and perhaps a faint sweetness from the straw used to cover floors inside houses. Animals also played roles in daily human routines. People tended to them carefully, fed them, and sometimes even shared their homes. The mixing of animal life with human life was ordinary, and people were accustomed to its aromas. Imagine standing quietly in a town lane as a goat brushes past your leg, a dog trots by, and a horse clops softly on the stones. Let the sounds, smells, and movements combine in your mind, gently creating a vivid picture of medieval life. Now, let us slowly wander toward the heart of the town, the marketplace. This is where the town gathers each day to buy, sell, and trade. Imagine wide wooden stalls lined with fruits, vegetables, and grains. Baskets of apples and pears sit next to piles of carrots, cabbage, and onions. The colors are vibrant, even in the soft morning light, and the scents mix together, some sweet, some earthy, some sharp. Fish, often caught fresh from nearby rivers or seas, are displayed openly. Their strong aroma is unmistakable, sharp and lingering, carried on the air by gentle breezes. Meat from pigs, goats, and cows is butchered on site. The smell is richer and heavier, a part of life that townspeople have learned to live with, as ordinary as the cobbles beneath their feet. Imagine the butcher carefully carving, the wooden boards stained and worn with use, the rhythmic chopping blending with the sounds of the town. Bakers fill the air with the gentle, comforting scent of bread. Imagine golden loaves being pulled from stone ovens, warmth rising, steam curling softly into the cool morning air. The sweet, yeasty smell competes with the heavier sense of fish and meat, but somehow blends into the tapestry of the marketplace. Herbs and spices, though rare and expensive, add subtle fragrances here and there, hinting at flavors both familiar and exotic. The marketplace is noisy yet gentle. People call out to each other, vendors announcing their goods in soft, melodic tones. Children weave between legs, laughing quietly, while animals sniff curiously at what has been left behind. Even with all the smells, sharp, sweet, earthy, pungent, the scene feels alive, rich, and full of rhythm. Imagine standing in the center of it, breathing in slowly, allowing each scent and sound to settle calmly around you. Pause and notice how the mixture of smells tells the story of everyday life, of work, trade, and sustenance. As we leave the marketplace, let us turn our attention to water, a precious and sometimes challenging part of medieval life. Imagine the wells and small rivers that run near the town. Water is drawn slowly, carefully using wooden buckets, sometimes lifted by simple pulley systems. This water serves many purposes: drinking, cooking, washing, and occasionally the removal of waste. Bathing is rare for most townspeople. When it occurs, it is often quick, using small tubs or barrels filled with warm water. Herbs and flowers are added for scent, to mask odors rather than remove them entirely. Imagine a family gathered around a small wooden tub, the gentle warmth of the water and the soft rustle of cloth, the subtle fragrance of rosemary or lavender mingling with the lingering smells of daily life. Rivers and streams carry not only water but also refuse from the town. Open sewers are ditches alongside streets, carrying away waste slowly but often spilling into pathways and homes. People have adapted to the smells, moving carefully and developing rhythms of life that work around them. Imagine walking past one of these ditches, noticing the faint odors carried by the breeze, but also observing the clever ways people manage their daily routines, balancing hygiene, labor, and comfort in a world very different from ours. Pause for a moment and reflect. Water, though simple and essential, shapes life in countless ways. It cleans, it nourishes, it carries stories along with it. Even the smells of hygiene, or the lack thereof, remind us of how people in medieval towns lived with patience, ingenuity, and a calm acceptance of their environment. Now, let us take a quiet stroll along the lanes where craftsmen work. These workshops fill the air with scents unique to each trade. Imagine the tanner's shop first. Hides are soaked, stretched, and treated carefully to create leather for shoes, belts, and tools. The smell is strong, a mixture of earth, water, and the chemicals of tanning, and it spreads beyond the walls of the small workshop. People pass by without comment, accustomed to its pungency as part of everyday life. Next, imagine a blacksmith's forge. The metallic scent of iron combines with smoke from the fire. Hammers strike metal with steady rhythm, and the sparks fly gently, glowing in the morning light. The smell of molten iron, coal, and sweat blends into the broader aroma of the streets. People move through this space carefully, mindful of both the sounds and the scents. Breweries, too, have their place. Barrels of fermenting grains fill the air with a sweet, tangy aroma. The scent is strong, almost comforting, a gentle reminder that life is productive and full of sustenance. Bakers, too, work nearby, their ovens adding warmth and sweetness to the mix. Imagine walking slowly past each workshop, noticing how each smell tells a story of skill, labor, and community. Each scent adds a layer to the sensory tapestry of the town. Pause, breathe deeply, and imagine the quiet collaboration of life. Craftsmen, laborers, bakers, and brewers each contribute to the daily rhythm, and even the smells, though strong, are part of a rich living environment. The town thrives through work, cooperation, and human ingenuity, and every layer of aroma carries a piece of that story. Even with the strong and constant smells of everyday life, medieval towns had moments of celebration and community. Festivals, religious gatherings, and market fairs brought the town together. Imagine the town square filled with gentle music, laughter, and soft voices of people greeting each other. Food is prepared for these special occasions. Roasted meats, fresh bread, and sweet pastries mingle with the scents of herbs, flowers, and even perfumes brought by the wealthier townspeople. Imagine the gentle waft of a festival, a temporary change in the town's aroma, replacing the stronger, everyday smells with a softer, more fragrant air. People dress in their best garments, adding subtle colors and textures to the scene. Children play quietly, running between friends and relatives, while musicians provide gentle background rhythms. Even for a short time, the scents, sounds, and movements create a moment of calm, joy, and shared experience. The town feels alive, vibrant, and social, yet still peaceful in its routines. As the festival winds down, the crowd slowly disperses. The stronger everyday smells return, but they are no longer unpleasant. They carry memories of celebration, community, and the simple joys of life. Imagine the square emptying, the scents settling into a quiet, reflective calm, and the town returning to its familiar rhythm. As evening falls, the town takes on a softer character. The sun dips behind the walls, casting long shadows along the cobbles. Street lamps, where they exist, flicker with warm, gentle light. The bustling activity of the day slows. Vendors close their stalls, animals are led back to pens or stables, and families retreat to their homes. The smells, though still present, are less noticeable in the quiet of night. Imagine walking slowly through empty lanes, listening to the soft footsteps of a passerby or the distant bark of a dog. Fires glow gently through windows, carrying the scent of cooking or warmth. Night brings a rhythm all its own, a softer, slower pulse that contrasts with the day. The town is resting, but traces of life remain in every corner. A gentle breeze carries the aroma of baked bread, fermented grains, and faint herbs. The streets, though once filled with activity, are now calm and reflective. Imagine pausing in the center of the town, breathing slowly, letting the sounds and scents of this old world settle into your mind. Nightfall invites calm, reflection, and gentle curiosity. As our journey comes to a close, let us take a final deep breath together. Reflect on the life we have imagined, the narrow streets, the bustling markets, the sounds of animals and people, the smells that seem so strange to us today. Medieval towns smelled bad by modern standards, yet these odors were a natural part of life. They tell us stories about the people who lived, worked, and celebrated there. Life was messy, layered, and full of rhythm. Every scent, every sound, every touch of daily life was a part of the story. We have walked slowly through this world together, observing, imagining, and reflecting. As you drift toward rest, let these gentle images and stories remain in your mind. Let the calm curiosity of history mingle with your breath, and let your thoughts settle softly. Good night, dear listener. May the quiet streets of history carry you into peaceful, gentle sleep, and may your dreams wander softly through the lives of people long ago.